Hi, this is Nick from Volume 1, and the brand new Volume 1 podcast was made possible by Royal Credit Union, Chippewa Valley Eye Clinic, and DeborahBecker.com, offering State Farm Insurance.
Hello, Chippewa Valley. Hello, Earth. It is time for another episode of the Volume 1 podcast. That's right, folks. That's the podcast where I sweat profusely in ways seen and unforeseen while we talk to cool people about cool stuff going on in the Chippewa Valley. So, pretty excited. I'm your host, Eric Christensen. Thank you for joining us. We got a real doozy for you today. Later on, we're going to talk tourism with a guy who started out working at Action City, and then he became the general manager of the entire Metropolis Resort. And now he's the interim executive director of Visit Eau Claire. The great Benny Anderson is in the building. Pretty exciting stuff. Looking forward to chatting with that guy. He said he was going to bring laser tag, so hopefully he comes through on that. Stick around to the end of the show for game time. We're going to bring all of our guests back to play some weird games all about Chippewa Valley stuff, so don't miss that. But first, we got a bunch of local stuff to talk about. And before we get to that, I want to introduce my co-host for today's panel segment, Volume 1 editor extraordinaire and local writer Rebecca Meneke is in the building.
What's up,
How are
Eric?
you, Becca?
I'm super good.
What's up, Eric? You don't have to whisper. We're doing the real thing right now. Becca just restocked her candy supply at V1.
I did. I think it was maybe a 10-pound bag, and I think that is an
10
under-exaggeration.
pounds, yeah.
It's a ridiculous amount of candy.
So much candy. You're basically Willy Wonka,
I think I called myself the unhealthy tooth fairy, and I think that's accurate. I'm just waiting 6 months for everybody to get cavities.
Yeah, I mean, we already like you, so you don't have to keep bringing us candy, but we're sure glad you are. We're all going to die. Now, for our esteemed panelists, so excited. First, she's a stand-up comedian, a lunch lady at the Boys and Girls Club, an amateur mixologist,
Yes, yeah.
and one of the coolest people I know, the Hannah Kabelitz is here.
Oh my gosh!
Hi, Hannah.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. I'm nervous and sweaty too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. You know, that comes with the program.
Yeah.
And making his ever so graceful return to the Volume 1 podcast, he's one of the co-founders of Clearwater Comedy. He's a dad. He's got a radio show on Converge Radio called This Must Be the Place. He's a booker and promoter of live shows at the Plus and the Metro, and a new homeowner. Please welcome the very cool and very nice Colin Ryan.
Hey, how's it going, Volume 1 listeners? And Eric and Hannah and Rebecca. Hello, hello. I wore deodorant.
Colin.
This is going to go fine.
I can smell it all the way over here.
Yeah.
And you're across the
Great.
room. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is going to be fun. So, yeah, I wanted to get into some local topics here. I mean, we got plenty of stuff to talk about. The main thing that's on everybody's minds is this rooftop bar that's going in downtown Eau Claire. You heard of this place? It's on the corner of Graham and Grand Avenue in downtown on the building that's called the Grand. And it's going to be a 7-story rooftop bar situation with 360-degree views of the city. So pretty cool. I mean, Hannah, what do you think about all that? I mean, are you going to go to the rooftop bar?
My going to the rooftop bar is definitely dependent on whether or not that big yellow trash slide is still there.
Oh,
I
yes.
think if that's still there, I'm gonna want to give that a go after a few drinks. So I don't know if that's the best design for their bar, but I would definitely check it out.
Yeah, that building has had this big yellow tube hanging out the side of it for 5 years with a dumpster on the bottom.
The whole time I've been here, it's, yeah.
I think they should keep it. It could be a little fun attraction.
No, at this point, it has already got its degree from the UWEC, and it deserves to stay. Right. No, can I make a comment about this rooftop bar? Because okay. Virtually every major city has one. Mm-hmm. It's not that unique of a thing. Yeah. But, we have a beautiful atmosphere here, beautiful landscape. This is cool. Let's see how it is, right?
Right.
I'm excited about it. It should be fun. Mm-hmm. But there are people online who are already, making harebrained scenarios happen. I saw comments that got liked on a news site, likes. That, now people are going to just go up there and eat and then kill themselves. Buildings already exist.
That's where your mind goes.
Rivers already
Right.
exist. It happens every year.
Plenty of bridges for that.
That's
thing.
It's just the idea that people immediately go to the most negative take they can possibly have is a burden and disgusting to society. It drives me absolutely crazy.
People just automatically.
Any change is bad, and I'm gonna make up whatever reason to say it. It's so annoying. I can't stand it.
Yeah, man, 7 stories. I mean, You got to be. I mean, that makes it probably the second tallest building in downtown Eau Claire after the Lismore, I think, 7 stories.
Yeah.
Hannah's laughing because she's from Chicago. We're pretty excited about 7 stories. Actually, it's 6, but they're building the 7th story for the bar will be the 7th story.
See, so I didn't know that. Now I'm angry.
I think with 7 stories, you almost have to have the tube or a slide or something. Like, that's a requirement, I feel like.
Yeah, there's got to be. Hopefully there's a smooth way to get up and down that place. Like, there's nothing like ordering food and drinks when you're winded from doing 7 flights of stairs.
At that point, you need the drink. Yeah, right. Yeah. Good God.
Water.
Yeah, you need the slide though. I think that's
absolutely. I'm not going if there isn't.
Pretty cool history of that place. I mean, it's been a bunch of banks over the years. It was Wells Fargo, and then it was a part of that whole Foxconn deal where it was supposed to become one of Foxconn's innovation centers.
Really?
Whatever that means. And so they had it on, they held that property basically for Foxconn until they ghosted the entire state of Wisconsin. It's like, man, Foxconn should have just been making rooftop bars. I think if they wanted some staying power.
Definitely.
Of course.
We wouldn't be in this mess. But yeah, it seems like an interesting place.
I will go. I'm excited about it. I think it'll look very beautiful.
I love that it keeps the history of Eau Claire too.
Yeah.
Like that we're taking not only and building new buildings, but that we're taking really old ones and finding innovative things to do with them. I just think that's super artsy and hipstery and very on brand for Eau Claire.
Definitely.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, and they're doing signature cocktails that kind of reference its past as a bank, like the Vault or something, I think one of them was called.
There should be like diamond hunts or something. Like they just hide things in the floorboards or something.
Yeah, you gotta try the 25-year mortgage. That's an amazing drink.
Iconic.
It'll take you out.
It's the CD. It's cognac and Drambuie.
That's a thing?
The certificate of deposit.
Oh yeah.
It's not a great reference, but it was fun to say it.
Yeah, that's fun.
It was fun to hear it too.
So Eau Claire finally has some authentic Chicago style. Hey. Got a couple Chicagoans here. Finally, some authentic Chicago style soul food in the form of Shaquelle's, which is a new restaurant owned by Shaquelle and Antoine Hill. They got catfish, chicken wings, catfish and chicken wings. It's not the same thing. Italian beef sandwiches, mac and cheese, greens, like amazing stuff. And Shaquelle's is actually a cool example of this trend we're seeing now because of COVID, which is called ghost kitchens, right? Ooh, right?
Now, Eric, touch on what are ghost kitchens.
I was hoping you would.
Yeah, so ghost kitchens are actually a super interesting trend. It's where a restaurant doesn't have a brick and mortar location, but instead almost like operates out of another one. So in the case of Shaquelle's Soul Food Palace, I believe is what it's called, it operates out of the nucleus, and we're seeing this all over the place. Like Hongdae Korean Eats operates out of Shanghai, and then Roble operates out of the Northern Tap House. I can talk. And I think that's super cool that like we're fostering new businesses by going off of established businesses already. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gives people, it gives them a chance to actually get their menu together and get organized and get support before they can actually use that momentum to build a brick and mortar place. And I'm hoping that happens with Shaquelle's.
So do I. It's like the restaurant went to open mic for a couple of years in practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Bringing it all back.
Yeah, I have to.
Now I have to.
I only understand comedy right now.
It's so great though because it fosters like restaurants and opportunities for people who may not have had those opportunities before.
Exactly.
We're seeing a lot of those restaurants that are by BIPOC individuals or people who may not have had those experiences or opportunities. And so I think that's so cool that this is something that we're bringing to Eau Claire in the Chippewa Valley and offering those new opportunities. And also, I'm always down for new food. Like always, you look at that macaroni. Okay, maybe that's basic that I'm going for the mac and cheese, but my God, look at
Not this mac
Shaquelle's.
and cheese.
My God, it's like another world.
I had it last night.
Yeah.
We ordered
real?
it last night. Yeah.
What'd you get?
Everything.
Okay, dumb question. Sorry.
Everything other than the sausages on the menu, I got.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
down to the pudding, all of it. I have a family of 4, so we ordered it. We ate it. Delicious, every single bit of it. The hot sauce still had flavor, even though it was really hot, which is a really good thing to do. I adored it, and I'll order it again. It was great.
Yeah. I love the fried catfish, and I hadn't had catfish before.
Yeah.
It was really good. And their fries, too. It was just everything was awesome.
I was into it.
Okay, if you had a ghost kitchen, where, what kind of food would you serve, and where would you serve it out of? Okay, I'll do mine as an example so you can think. Mine would be, I want to do like an after hours place at Culver's. The Culver's on Brackett specifically, where it's after hours and you just serve cheese curds and tequila.
Oh, yeah.
That is brilliant.
That is all time.
There's something there.
Eric, I've never heard your personality described better. Yeah, that was great. Can I, my weird one, like I would do lamb barbecue. Like
all right.
Yeah, like full like lamb, like the whole body, turn it on a spit, and then cut it up, serve it.
Well, a lot of
That sounds
cities
like a
do
no.
like Greek fest and that sort of
stuff
thing
like
where
that.
they have that, and that is so fun.
Yep.
Like it is so like integrative. I love it.
And I mean that's sort of like my favorite food. If I have to like pick out of a hat, like out of the 5 favorite foods, this is my favorite food is like Persian, Lebanese, Israeli, like stuff like that. Those flavors I love. Turkish food. So like lamb on a spit would be what I would serve if I had.
Lamb is my favorite animal, so I'm a little offended. Hannah, what about you?
I'm
What
a
do you
little
think?
bit terrified by that response as well. I think I would serve cold PB&J sandwiches from the Stone's Throw, like in an old witch costume, and be like, "These sandwiches are disgusting," and I'd be like, "Get out!" I'll just do like something weird. I don't have a culinary mind,
good.
despite being a little.
Aren't
slave.
PB&Js supposed to be cold? Or
I'm gonna freeze them.
like
They're gonna
Uncrustables?
be frozen. Yeah, frozen Uncrustables.
Good God.
From the Stone's Throw
The
kitchen,
crust are extra.
pretending to be a ghost.
You could
That's a
change your
real one.
theme like every month too. Like one month is a witch, the next is like I don't know,
Yeah.
A ghost.
A
Yeah.
ghost.
a ghost
The
in a ghost
drown.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Becky,
Girl
you have
from
one?
the
Love
ring.
it.
It's ghosts all the way down.
So I'm gonna tap into my Irish ancestry here. I love potatoes, like any kind of potato. So I just want like a potato restaurant dedicated to all potatoes. Okay, we got French fries, we got mashed potatoes, we got curly fries, we got sweet potato fries, any kind of fries, any kind of or just any kind of like baked potato. I don't know. And maybe it could like be operated out of something that totally has nothing to do with potatoes. That'd be even better. I don't know. like mix it up a little bit.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
I'm all for that.
My name's Colin Ryan, so that idea offends me, but I would eat there every day.
Colin, have you ever been in a Tesla?
No.
Hannah, have you been in a Tesla?
I have not.
Becca? Tesla?
No, but one time I did an interview with this man who talked for almost an hour and a half about, it was a combination of bees and Teslas. And it was for this like zero waste article I did like about a year and a half ago. And quite literally, it was like an hour and a half of that interview. He was telling me how great his Tesla was. So now I just have this like
Bees.
I have like
Teslas.
over-informed mind about Teslas that maybe I didn't need to know, but now I know.
I mean, if you're itching to get in a Tesla, there's this guy in town who owns this business called Green Fleet, which is basically, a rideshare service and delivery, but it's exclusively in his fleet of Teslas. I don't know how many Teslas he has. Fleet implies multiple.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 6 Teslas probably.
Like 6 organized Teslas.
But
like
yeah,
it's
I
a
mean-
fleet.
So it started, at the beginning of COVID, he was just going to give people rides to the airport, the MSP airport, back and forth from Eau Claire. But now he's expanded to give you any kind of ride within a 100-mile radius of Eau Claire. So, you want to go through the Taco Bell drive-thru? Why not Tesla,
My favorite thing is this TikTok trend that's going on. That's like how to tell that your car was designed not in the Midwest, and it's just like electric vehicles like covered in ice and just like trying to defrost them, and it's just like clearly this isn't working well, and I have to wonder like how well do Teslas work in winter? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Great question.
That didn't come up in my hour and a half interview with this guy about Teslas.
Yeah.
Look, people love Elon Musk with a hot burning passion we haven't seen since
Of course.
our friend from Nazareth, right? So all I'm going to say about this is like Elon Musk is amazing. He is very smart. He is very cool. I think it's great that he named his kid Symbol something or other. He's the smartest man who ever lives. Let's all go to Mars in a Tesla. Take us, Greenfleet.
Take us
We're on the
there.
way.
I don't want Twitter to get mad at me. I gotta say I like
yeah.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, you're gonna get owned if you don't say that.
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Of course.
Wow.
Maybe somebody should open up the same thing, but with Hummers instead of Teslas. That'd be fun.
I would love that.
Hummer fleet.
Oh man.
I actually looked onto this website.
Yeah.
Like they said stuff about like drinks and like snacks would be provided. If you want to go from here to the Chippewa Valley Airport one way, $20. That's not insane to me.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to go there,
It's
and
really
do
not
it-
bad.
It really, yeah.
And you
then
get a
you have
little,
to-
you get a little neck pillow.
Oh,
They
right.
give you some drinks, non-alcoholic drinks. They give you noise canceling headphones, and you get that undeniable feeling of superiority. You know,
Right, yeah.
being in there.
I hope it's like grape fago and moon pies, and I can just like stick my head out the window yelling, "Woo!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, that's all we got for the panel. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, Cullen. Thank you, Hannah. You guys are going to come back for games
We will.
at the end of
Yes.
the show. All right, cool.
Absolutely.
Stick around, folks. We're going to be right back talking with Benny Anderson. All right, Nick, we've got a sponsor to tell folks about, Deborah Becker of State Farm Insurance, at deborahbecker.com.
Yeah, okay, a little insider info here. When we decided to create this podcast, the very first business we wanted to check with for sponsorship was Deborah Becker from State Farm. And that's because she is always up for the new, the experimental, and anything that she thinks is good for the people of Eau Claire and the Chippewa Valley. And she has supported so much stuff from Volume 1 over the years, new publications and community events, videos, really just all kinds of different things.
Absolutely. And, it's not just Volume 1 either. I mean, it's the
No,
entire
right.
community. I mean, they're pumping money into community projects like the Boyd Park Plus, the Sculpture Tour, concerts, art installations, just so much stuff that the entire community can share.
Yeah, it's cool. And that's the thing, because to some degree, to people like us, we're just lay people. Insurance is insurance. We don't know the difference. So
I don't.
sometimes you pick your people based on who shares your values in a community. Who do you think's making some cool things happen? And for us, for that Volume 1 anyway, that's Deborah Becker with State Farm.
And it's pretty cool to actually work with the people that are sponsoring the podcast.
Totally. Deb and Casey there at State Farm, they have their office right downtown, right on Barstow Street. They have everything insured that Volume 1 does, and in my life for a bunch of years. And really, they're just approachable, available, understandable, and above all, they're just decent human beings.
And that helps.
It does help. So if you need insurance-y things, please consider visiting deborahbecker.com.
Welcome back to the Volume 1 podcast. Thanks again to our panelists, Cullen and Hannah, for joining us at the top of the show. Good stuff. They're going to be back later to play some games with us. But we got a great interview lined up today. But first, I want to introduce the producer of the pod and my co-host for the interview segment, Nick Meyer.
Hey, Eric, here to hang out.
Yeah, how's it going,
It's
Nick?
going
Good?
so much better now that weather's warmed up. We always have to do our weather chat.
Yeah, I busted my guns out for this
Yeah,
one. I've been
I'm-
long sleeved this whole time.
I forgot to change for the
I'm
podcast.
starting to get a little tan even. It's
I got to
amazing.
get my sweat up and running like the rest of you guys, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I stink right now. Anyway, moving on. Folks, we are very thrilled to introduce our next guest. He's a UW Eau Claire grad and a former general manager of Metropolis Resort. He does a killer Guy Fieri impression, which we're going to get to, and there's
Wonderful.
video evidence out there. But yeah, now he's a master of tourism, and he's the interim executive director of Visit Eau Claire. Please give a warm welcome to Benny Anderson.
There he is.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Wow.
Elusive ever since he took the job.
Yeah, I'm wonderfully hidden in the Pablo Center, basically locked up like my own personal asylum.
Well, that's fun. I mean, crazy year for the tourism world. And so when did you start Visit Eau Claire? It was recently.
Yeah, I started a year ago on March 1st, 2 weeks before the Safer at Home order and the collapse of the industry in general for a year.
So you're celebrating a year of a wonderful tenure in an interim job, handling the worst situation in the history of tourism.
Honestly, it was we could have had worse years. Things have gone very well for the organization, and we've made some good partnerships. But yeah, it was different. Holy cow! I didn't have to argue with anybody about what the thermostat setting was in the office. Nobody stole my lunch out of there. It was great.
Easy breezy.
Yeah.
It's just you in there.
Me and the Pablo crew.
Yeah.
So I feed them sometimes that whole starving artist thing right now. We've been working hard to keep sure that we've got Debbie cakes in the closet and bring ribs every once in a while. I'm running basically my own ghost kitchen out of there.
That's great.
So 2 weeks of planning this beautiful future of 2020, a new decade of tourism. Boom, everything hits, goes bad. First thing you do, you got to try to support those restaurants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the guy, was it Ferrari? Ferrari?
Fieri is the proper
Fieri? There's a T in
Fieri.
it?
It's an R, but you got to do a little Italian.
All right, sure. So
Mayor of Flavortown.
Yeah, the mayor of Flavortown.
You got out there trying to save some restaurants. What was the thinking? What was that all about?
Really, we were just kind of, at Visit Eau Claire, we've got 2 types of marketing. We've got our standard voice, which is, the great professional tourism voice, and then we've got
standard voice.
Yeah, we've got what we call my type of marketing, which is dipstick marketing we'll use today, which is, really just getting some good press out there. So we were really trying to encourage that, drive pickup mentality for the restaurants and giving them a different way to pivot through all of that, my least favorite word. And so as we did that, I was very familiar that I have a certain body type and impersonation ability for certain typeset actors. So I'm most commonly recognized as Patton Oswalt is what people would say I look like. Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
I see it.
And then Kevin James is another one.
Sure.
And then Drew Carey when my hair is short. And then Guy Fieri. But that's more of a personality level. That's really that...
that one combines the visual and the personality.
It really
right?
does, yeah. For a guy that the world pretty much hates. I I love him. I don't get what's
I love
wrong.
him. I love Triple D. I love Triple
the world
G.
hates success is what they hate.
That is the truth of
You
it.
just put a little frosted tip spikes and it's sunglasses and it's success.
If I had one learning lesson from the whole COVID thing, it would be the Guy Fieri experience because I used permanent bleach. And I don't know if you guys are familiar about what happened with Netflix during COVID, but if you bleach your hair and you have to wear button-down shirts and you can't get a haircut, I went very quickly from Guy Fieri to the Tiger King. And my daughter made me wear a hat on walks. It was really, and you're not supposed to wear a hat in professional Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
And I would take it off, and they're like, we're willing to make an exception.
Whoa,
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
A
uncomfortable.
little bright.
Yeah.
I should say, we worked together on the Visit Eau Claire board for a number of years. You were doing that before you became the director, and I actually left right then and avoided all of the hard stuff this last year. Having to figure stuff out with you guys. But Volume 1 struggles this last year, and Visit Eau Claire struggles are really kind of intertwined in a lot of ways because we talk about events, how great of a place this is, all the things there are to do. How do you keep spirits up of Visit Eau Claire and the staff and the people that you're messaging to? What has your strategy been this last year to keep things moving?
Our strategy on that optimism, I literally find myself usually to be the most optimistic person in any room. And it's kind of a joke amongst some of our peers, like especially on the
it's totally annoying.
It is. It's really difficult. Especially when we go into like the
sunshine.
Screw this guy.
He's full of it. But in reality, you have to go through it anyways. So you might as well take the approach of I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna get through it with the right attitude, and I'm gonna take everybody else along for the ride and drag them across the finish line if I have to, because that's what we had to do. It wasn't like it was going to change the scenario. So
it sounds nice. You should come pinch hit for me here at Volume 1 because everybody could use a bit of that at this point, I think. So, but also you've been involved with that economic recovery task force thing, and so tell us what that's about, why it was there, who it is, what it was trying to accomplish through all this, and what's yet to be done.
In that world, that's really been the reason that I believe that the city has done better in a lot of this recovery work than many of the other cities that we see in Wisconsin. Wisconsin on a state level was obviously kind of a mess for COVID response and and all of that. And we would see a lot of our partners, in other cities where university and the health department couldn't get along, or health department and the Tavern League, or any of that. And we took the traditional Eau Claire approach immediately and said, let's put everybody in a room. Let's put aside some of that opinion and personal belief of what this should happen. Let's do what's right for the community. And so we had the chamber and DECI and the university and the health department and all of the cities and counties and us sitting in a room with a lot of the business partners and saying, okay, in order for us to recover the fastest and the best, let's do what's right for the health of the community and the people who live here. Let's make some hard choices, but then let's find our best methods to support them. So if you look, we're really proud because, you know, the grants awarded across the state, the Eau Claire area has done traditionally much better. You know, we had things like Together Chippewa Valley that worked incredibly well for partners coming together and really just took that whole collaborative spirit that we've always done very well and really relied on it to drive it home and say, okay, doesn't matter, competitors sitting in the same room and really working to make it happen.
So here you are now a year later, and we're looking at, I mean, there's some positive news out there as far as the pandemic goes. Like, what are your main goals now that we got this whole summer and fall to look forward to? Like, but that balancing act of making sure everyone's healthy and safe at the same time. Like, what is that looking like for you right now?
For us, I think it's going to be, you know, the great year. You know, we spent this last year, and I'm a little bit mentally built for a year like last year. I can be very spontaneous and react very quickly and basically have a plan in any situation. And now we get to rely on the abilities of, you know, this amazing crew at Visit Eau Claire and all of the businesses and organizations that we have to support that, in that they can work their plan. You know, we found so many amazing things about, you know, tourism and the people that are attending here and all of the things that they want to see when we had to strip away events and restaurants and a lot of the things that we've relied on to be the prominent cool factor of Eau Claire. And we had to go basically to arts and the outdoors. And really that's what we were left with. And we were still cool. We were still amazing. I mean, like people loved it.
If you do say so yourself.
If we do say so. You know, I don't do much in the arts world except support it. And in the outdoors, you know, I do that between video games and when my kids drag me out to it. But no, so I'm really excited to see, you know, now that the crew be able to work the plan that we were walking into a year ago to say, hey, we've gotten the optimistic green light to plan events and to still have some restrictions and some precautions, but to get back after this and get some of these, you know, events and jobs and you know, amazing factors back.
Yeah, and what did you hear over this last year, and what are you hearing now for the year ahead from, you know, all the constituents and things like the businesses, the restaurants themselves, the hotels, all these attractions and people who really had a rough go of stuff. I mean, what are they feeling like now? Did we lose anything, or you know? We definitely lost, you know, some things, you know, and any loss is difficult. The biggest thing that we lost is jobs. I mean, we lost thousands of tourism and restaurant jobs in the Chippewa Valley alone. So when we're looking at that, you know, I mean, and in my world, those are friends. A lot of them are family. You know, I mean, I've worked in that industry for decades, and watching any of them suffer that loss was difficult. So for us, you know, being able to say, hey, you know, with the restaurants and with all of the events, we're still here. We lost a couple things, but we're still going. We've still got a good shot at recovery and bouncing back very quickly. And we're seeing good support of that in the numbers. I mean, you know, we're doing better than a lot of the areas in the state, and definitely a lot better than a lot of areas in the nation. And that's one of the things. I mean, before all of this, I mean, the trajectory of tourism in Eau Claire had been on an incredible rise, really considering. I mean, and that's one of the interesting things about tourism overall is that I think people locally, when you think of tourism, you know, outside of the industry, you think of you know, leisure travel, like you and your families or your significant other or whoever are going off to go do something, and you're going to eat, drink, hang out on beaches, go to attractions and stuff like that. But in the Chippewa Valley, it's really there is an element of that, and that's growing. As the city gets kind of cooler and more interesting, we get more leisure tourism, but really that's a pretty small piece of our pie, where it's more led by event-specific things, the festivals and the music festivals, other, you know, event-driven traffic, and then also sports tournaments and tourism. And that's a big piece that I think people here don't realize. Hey, that's actually what's driving a lot of people coming into the community, staying at hotels, getting into restaurants and stuff. What did that mix look like, you know, before, and our trajectory with all those things? What do you think it's going to look like going forward? And that's partly why I think it also is particularly difficult for a community like Eau Claire, because you'd think small regional destinations would be well positioned to make it through this, because nobody wants to fly to Florida or whatever, but maybe they'll drive, you know, an hour out of Minneapolis to come to someplace like Eau Claire. But when there's no major events, none of the sports tournaments are happening, things like that, it hurts us. So I don't know, talk about that mix and the strategy there and try to explain that to people as to how it all really actually works and what we think it'll look like.
Yeah. So a year ago, we were looking at, that Midwest indie brand. It was very heavily focused on the events and, the really cool culture built around, our individual artists and the things that we could bring here and celebrate. And when we didn't have that to rely on, there was definitely that mix of, okay, well, we've got, the leisure travel that will still happen really by car trip now, so 3 to 4 hour car trip, like you mentioned, really focusing on the outdoors and the small circles. And that's what we're seeing come back immediately. Traveler sentiment, the amount of interest that people have in travel right now is at the highest it had been since March. It hit January. And then a month later, it was at 1,500% month over month. Wow, so you take these huge numbers that we were seeing, and now they're absolutely blowing up. So as we're looking at it, we're identifying.
So the point being, that means people they're starting to plan. They are like the pent up demand is about to unleash type of situation.
Absolutely. And what we're seeing is, that road trip model is still going to be the big winner. Yeah. And you're seeing that in all facets, sports, tourism, meetings, family, leisure. There are people that are comfortable getting on a plane, but it's not quite there yet. Mm-hmm. And there's also some financial concerns for some of the bigger trips that, people are still working with, and what do their restrictions look like. So as we look at that, we were identifying the personas, right? And we would have different content on our website and different ads for, the events, for the arts and culture, for business, and then for family leisure. And what we're really seeing is the ability to still identify those, but to have a healthy blend. As you're going out for sports tourism, we're now still encouraging them to go, partake in the sculpture tour. Or as they come in for a show, we're finding that they'll still bring their bike and use our amazing trails. So we're really just trying to capitalize on the tourism, the tourist, and give them whatever platform that we want to have here, because in reality, the things that we always said worked against tourism before COVID, not having a convention center, not having an event center, not having the full scale of the big metropolitan areas around us, from the Wisconsin Dells on the leisure side to the cities for the shows and culture side, really were the things that allowed us to be more competitive during COVID, and it gave us a chance to reload. We lost meetings, but we didn't lose the occupancy in the hotel world to the scale that Madison did. Mm-hmm. So we lost events and tourism, but we didn't lose it to the scale that the Twin Cities did. You could still get a great experience that wasn't a reason to postpone your trip here, but also another reason to say, okay, well, I've been here now and they've got more than we think, and let's go back.
Sure. Mm-hmm. It's funny to me to sit here and watch you talk about stuff at this high level about tourism and everything, and remember that 15, 16, or whatever years ago, bringing down Volume 1 staff to Action City, and you were doing the pull start on my go-kart to get us going. So you've been at that end of tourism and attractions and everything, and now you're all the way up at this whole thing. You've been in the whole range. What's that experience been like, and how does that inform you navigating this and also just working the job going forward once things are normal?
Honestly, it's been an incredible experience. I actually started at 15 years old in the little town in New Richmond, managing a movie theater. I was the floor manager at 16.
Managing. Yeah.
16 years old, I had.
They give manager keys.
Yeah, they give it to anybody. Yeah, as long as you'd ignore child labor laws and do all, you were fine.
That wasn't a thing back then, I don't think.
So then, I came to Eau Claire basically for college to take a movie theater job for a movie theater they were going to build here. Ended up graduating from here, but during that time I worked for the movie theaters here, and then for Skate America when it was there. Kidding. I mean, every entertainment gig that you could have. If
it's fun, Benny's there.
Yeah.
I'm the Guy Fieri of the attractions world. I've been in every job that you could have. So then really cut my teeth at Action City and Metropolis, learning not just the tourism industry, but marketing and business operations, and in reality, how the Chippewa Valley works a little bit differently than a lot of the places that you see. And in the beginning, struggling to find our way through that and be a part of that. And at the end of it, being involved on every level in a lot of big decisions as a little arcade and water park, and then finding our role in not just, Visit Eau Claire, but in a lot of organizations. And it's been wonderful. And the best part of it is not just the jobs. It was the people I met along the way. The one thing that I tell people that I do well in my world is meet people and make friends, and then introduce them. We literally just work this circle all day long to say, okay, hey, you're struggling with this. Let's meet them. Let's figure it out. They're They're the brains behind it, and we've got a lot of brains in the Chippewa Valley to rely on.
Yeah, and I would just, I mean, to have somebody with your energy and approach to life in general to come into that role at that time was probably one of the best things that the community could have had have happen to guide us through this and to catapult us into it forward. So nice job on a life well lived and prepared for, and all the expertise that you have. So
well, and I had a lot of good role models and people that I've worked with through that board and through the years and all of that, and including Rindo. I mean, Mike Rindo at that level, I watched how he made those connections and talked to people and guided it, and he was the reason I got the job at the task force as the
Mike being the, I mean, he was one of the vice chancellors at the university for a long time, part of building the Confluence Center and Sonotech and all that kind of stuff that he's worked on.
And our role on the task force is what really changed those connections for us. Visit Eau Claire became a bigger part of the community messaging and involvement, and really made some strong connections.
That's what's funny. I mean, you mentioned somebody like Mike Rindo, and you know, to me too, he's a huge person to look up to, and it's just funny because a lot of people in the general community may not know that name or not, but it's just sort of funny that he's been such a piece of glue and like a guiding light for a lot of people behind the scenes making stuff happen in the community. So that's a good point.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's all the time we have for the interview part. Thank you so much.
I'll cancel
Benny.
the PowerPoint. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right. You had a whole thing. Oh, man. Too bad.
We didn't get to it. I'm sorry.
Oh, shoot.
But we got some games planned. You're done to
ready.
stick around for some games. Okay, cool. Cullen and Hannah, our panelists, are going to rejoin us.
I'm excited for this
Benny.
one.
We're going to play some stuff. So stick around. We'll be back with more Volume 1 podcast. Nick, one of the reasons we all live in the Chippewa Valley is for the beauty that surrounds us.
Right.
You know, the woods, the water, but to get serious for a second, if you want to enjoy all that splendor, you got to take care of your eyes.
You really do, and that's why it's so helpful to have a full-service operation like the Chippewa Valley Eye Clinic right here in Eau Claire.
Right, we've told you about them on the podcast before. You know, they offer routine eye exams for glasses and contacts, LASIK surgery, cataract surgery, eyelid surgery, treatment for glaucoma, and so much
not only
more.
all of that, but now they have expanded their services to include vitreoretinal surgery as well. And that's a big deal for this area because previously some patients maybe had like a retinal detachment.
Ooh, that sounds serious.
No, it is, and they would often have to be sent to the Twin Cities to undergo surgery. But now we have a highly qualified provider offering these services right here in Eau Claire.
That's so great. So whatever you need to take care of those eyes, don't put it off. Call to schedule your appointment today.
Find more information at cveclinic.com. That's Chippewa Valley Eye Clinic. Seeing the future.
Welcome back to the Volume 1 podcast, folks. Wow. Guess what time it is? It's game time.
Game time.
Our panelists, Cullen and Hannah, are back alongside Benny to play some goofy games all about Chippewa Valley stuff. And it's going to be fun. We have 3 rounds of games, and each of our contestants is playing for a local nonprofit of their choice. So, Benny, let's start with you. Who are you playing for today?
I'm going to be playing for my friends at Joshua's Camp. They are an organization who helps children who have cancer and their families get to spend a little bit more time together and support them through the cancer process.
Fantastic. Hannah?
Today I will be playing for the Boys and Girls Club of the Greater Chippewa Valley. Is where I work, so it's not self-serving. If anything, it's uncreative.
Cool. All right, Cullen, over to you.
I will be playing for the Family Support Center, which provides services to survivors of interpersonal violence. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. So whoever wins these 3 rounds of games, their nonprofit will get a free ad in Volume 1. So very excited. So it's time for round 1, which is a group game. We're all playing this one. Round 1 is a game we like to call Ramones or Olsons. Okay. So we're gonna go around the table to each of you, and we're gonna do some rapid fire ice cream flavors. I'm gonna give you the name of a flavor, and you have to tell me if it's from Ramones or Olsons.
Okay.
Make sense?
yes,
Sounds good.
yes.
All right. Let's so the winner will automatically go to round 3. So that's pretty exciting too.
Ooh,
So
okay.
So get your flavors on. Are you ready to play Ramones or Olsons?
Very ready.
Ready.
All right. Let's get Hannah. Let's start with you. All right. I'm
right.
going to give you 5 of these, and we'll see how well you do. All right. Okay. So Hannah, are you ready?
I think I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Here we go. Ramones or Olsons? Zanzibar chocolate.
Olson's.
Incorrect. Carrot mango Italian ice.
Ooh, I'm gonna say Ramone's.
Correct. Butterscotch twist.
Olson's.
Correct. Chocolate raspberry truffle.
Olson's.
Incorrect. Black licorice.
Olson's?
Correct. Nice job, Hannah.
Oh, thank you.
You got 3 out of 5. That's a pretty strong first showing. All right, we're going to go over to Benny. Benny, are you ready for your round of
I
Ramones
can hear
or
the
Olson's?
disappointment in my wife's voice already. I'm ready.
All right, Benny, here we go. Cherry Garden.
Ramones.
Incorrect. Mocha Mud Pie.
That is Olson's.
Correct. Lucky Leprechaun Shake.
Ramones.
Correct. Rum Raisin.
Olson's.
Incorrect. Coconut Almond Bliss.
Ramones.
Correct. Ooh. Okay, we got both of you have 3. That's pretty incredible. We do have a tiebreaker if it comes to that. But Cullen, we're moving over to you.
I've never heard of ice cream.
Have you had ice cream before? Ever tried it?
What is this?
No.
It's good, man. You should have it.
I have.
All right, here we go. Okay, Ramones or Olson's? This first one is This Shit Just Got Serious.
Ramones.
Correct. Mackinac Island Fudge.
Ramones.
Incorrect. Heath Supreme.
Olson's.
Correct. Chocolate Monster.
Olson's.
Correct. Exhausted Parent.
Olson's.
Incorrect. Oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
So that's 3 for all of you. What are we gonna do?
Great job,
okay,
everyone.
we have some tiebreakers here, but I only have 5 of them. So if this goes nowhere, we're gonna rock paper scissors it out. Okay,
We can do that.
Deal.
I'm gonna go to each of you, one at a time until somebody gets it wrong. If you get it wrong, you're eliminated.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Colin, we're gonna start with you.
Let's do it.
Cotton candy confetti.
Ramones.
Incorrect. Cullen, you're out. All right, Hannah.
Harsh.
Lemon poppy seed.
Oh, God. Olson's?
Incorrect.
Oh, my God.
By default.
All right, by default, that was kind of the order. So Benny, you win.
Type of victory. There's no skill.
You didn't even have to do anything. Oh, fantastic. Benny, congrats on winning
you.
the first round. That means you automatically go to the final round, which is kind of exciting. But that doesn't mean you're completely out of round 2. Round 2 is a game we like to call the loser's game.
Accurate.
And it's between Cullen and Hannah over there, okay? So,
Perfect. Perfect.
So, but
I'm the
Benny, you're not
biggest loser.
completely out of this. You actually have a pretty important role. So this is a game called Here Comes the Pitch, okay? So, Benny, that means you're the CEO. And Cullen and Hannah are copywriters, and we're coming up with new advertising slogans for some cool businesses in the Chippewa Valley.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the name of the business and what their current slogan is, and you're going to have to come up with something better.
Ooh, all right.
Or just as good. But then, Benny, you're the CEO. You're going to pick your favorite out of the 2.
Okay.
So we got 3 rounds. You have 30 seconds to write your slogan. Are you ready to play Here Comes the Pitch?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is Oakwood Mall. Okay. Their current slogan is Relax, Revive, Reinvent. 30 seconds on the clock. Go. Oakwood Mall. I didn't even know they had a slogan. I just looked at their website.
I think I knew that.
Relax, reinvent.
Is it
Total
reinvent?
vibe.
What is it?
Revive, and then reinvent. So they're doing it all over there. I've never had a relaxing time at the mall, though. It's quite stressful for me.
I tried the massage chairs once to relax. It's not a fan favorite. It basically like holds your ankles and then stabs you gently.
All right, that is time. Okay, now we're done writing. All right, Colin, let's start with you. The Oakwood Mall, he's got a new slogan for the Oakwood Mall. Mr. CEO, you ready to make a call on this?
Yes.
All right, Colin.
Hi. My name is Colin Ryan, and I'm at... No, okay, this isn't Shark Tank? Okay.
It's kind of like Shark
Right.
Tank.
Sharks. This is what I have.
I've
for
never
you.
seen that show.
All right, I just went with what I think everybody's looking from when they visit the Oakwood Mall. So I have the slogan, Oakwood Mall, Old Navy, cell phone cases, 5 guys.
All right, that's to the point. I like it.
Very
All right,
good.
Hannah, let's see what you got for a slogan.
That is a very good slogan. What I have for you is Oakwood Mall. When you're here, you'll be here.
Okay, all right, Benny.
I'm not gonna
CEO
lie.
Benny.
I was writing my practice pitch if I had been involved in this one, and I had a similar one to Colin's. I would have replaced Old Navy, but 5 Guys is definitely on the radar.
All right.
And the replacement was teriyaki samples.
Yeah.
Ooh, those are good.
It's really a food-driven trip.
Yeah.
So that one goes to Cullen.
That goes to
All
Colin.
right, good job, Cullen.
Thank you.
All right, round 2, Rockfest.
Oh.
Their current slogan is "Where we just rock." All right, 30 seconds. Here we go. Benny, you've been to Rockfest.
The owner is one of my best friends,
Yeah.
so I would say insults are a positive point.
Okay, that's
like
good.
the meaner you are to Wade, the better I feel.
I've never been. I've meant to go so many times. I'm gonna go the next time.
It's
next
a
time
ton
we
of
can do
fun.
it.
I will
Yeah.
not lie. It's a great time.
I want to see Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is
Supposedly
playing
he's
at
coming
Rockfest.
back.
Apparently.
Yeah, I used to work
I'm
backstage
excited.
to help out a little bit. I got to meet some of these guys. There's some I'm a fan of, and a couple I burned their CDs after meeting them.
All right, that's time. Let's see what we got for Hannah. Let's start with you. Rockfest. What is your slogan for Rockfest?
All right, for Rockfest, my new pitch is Rockfest. All the rocks you could want, boulders, pebbles, we got it all.
Actually, it's about rock music.
Wait, what?
Although, Hannah, there is a very prominent rock and mineral show out at the Eau Claire County Expo Center, which
Oh
I
my
think we
God,
could
when?
repurpose that for.
Oh my God, I'm going to need to get that information
Amazing.
after the
Okay.
show.
The one true Rockfest.
All right, Cullen, what do you got?
I think this one's very accurate. Rockfest, your mom is very drunk.
There's no loser in that round.
Not at all.
Personally, I have to go with the minerals one. I think
Really?
that,
Awesome.
Great job, Hannah. Maybe Rockfest should get some boulders.
I think they should consider it. Open a booth.
just
Do
good landscaping, yeah.
Yeah, it's what the people want.
All right, the final round of Here Comes the Pitch. Culver's. Their current slogan is Welcome to Delicious.
Is this the Culvers or the Ghost Kitchen Culvers that you proposed earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I already made a pitch for my own. Maybe I can win this round.
Here's my problem with Ghost Kitchens
Yeah.
is that, restaurant employees are struggling to keep these jobs, and now we're just going to give them the spirits and the dead. I mean, like, I don't
Not
understand.
fair.
Yeah,
They can't even eat.
it's not right.
It just falls right through their body. They can't even eat. Why should we eat their food? And that is time. I still hear some squeaking
What?
over there, Colin.
Wait.
It's just a long phrase.
All
sorry.
right. Okay. And all right, time. All right.
He got extra time.
I was
All
ready.
right.
I
All right,
didn't
Colin.
pause.
Colin, let's start with your very long answer.
I feel like because I got extra time, I'm going to lose already. But
No.
okay. This is how I feel when I go to Culver's, so I think it kind of speaks to what Culver's means to me. Culver's, are you ever sad and happy at the same time?
Yes.
Same.
Oh man.
Been there. All right, Hannah, what do you got for Culver's?
I've got Culver's. You'll love it here, except after, and I don't even know what I meant by that. I ran out of time.
We all know what you mean. We all know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
All right, Mr.
Ooh, that
CEO,
is,
Benny, what do you
that's
think?
a tough one, but I think I'm going to have to go with the happy and the sadness. That's
That's nice. All right, congrats, Colin. You won.
Oh, wow.
Here comes the pitch. So you won the losers game. Hannah, that
Sure.
means you lost the losers
I'm
game.
the biggest loser. I've said that from the
biggest loser.
beginning.
A loser twice is a winner in mathematics.
However,
I think, yeah.
round 3, you're not
Wow.
completely out of this one either. Round 3 is a game we like to call What's in the Koozie? And Joel's got a koozie right there. Give that to Hannah.
Ooh.
And so that koozie is filled with all kind of clues about about different Chippewa Valley stuff, you know. And
okay.
so it's kind of a catchphrase style game. So Hannah, you're gonna try and make these guys guess what's on the card without actually saying the name itself. Understand?
Okay.
All right, we're putting 2 minutes on the clock,
Do we write
and
this down?
you yell out your answers.
Gotcha.
So whoever gets the most in 2 minutes wins, and their nonprofit gets a free ad in Volume 1. So let's play What's in the Koozie. Hannah, go.
All right. First, it's the home that everyone was really excited about. Like a couple weeks ago, it used to be grass, but now it's not.
Sod home, the fake grass house.
Close. Does that count? Okay.
That'll count. We'll count.
Turf house. Okay. Next we have really. We have the big building that supplies all your lights and your
Menards.
fixtures and but it's
Farrell?
more the build like the no, I didn't get it.
Fleet Farm?
You
No.
can throw it out if you want.
Oh, okay. I was XL Energy. I'm sorry.
Oh.
This is where the Culver's is actually. That
Bracket.
Yep.
Ooh, Bracket Avenue.
This is where all people go to hike on their first date. It's the only hill in Eau Claire that people
Carson
know
Park.
about. No, it is near a lake.
University Hills Dramatic.
No, it overlooks Carson Park. I'm
You
gonna
can throw it out.
okay. Oh my gosh, I drive by this every day. It's on Galloway Street. It's a big sculpture.
Banbury?
Swan.
It is by postcode. Yep.
Swan.
Yes.
Garbage Swan.
Garbage Swan.
I love that thing. Oh, okay. He owns all the buildings and he puts a Mona Lisa on them.
Mogensen.
Yes. 2 for Benny, 2 for Cullen, all
boy.
tied up.
Oh boy. I don't know
40
what this
seconds
is. I feel
left.
bad. Okay. This one is I don't know what this is either. Oh no, I'm sorry.
30 seconds.
Okay, this is a place to get coffee. It's in Menominee. The comedy did
Raw
a show
deal.
here once.
Raw
Yes.
deal.
Ooh, okay. 3 for Cullen, 2 for Benny. 20 seconds on the
Best
clock.
craft store to go to. It's on Barstow. It has
Tingle Up and Hue.
Yes.
4 for Cullen.
This is the last one. This is I mentioned this earlier. This is kind of it's a park. It's can I say-
Carson Park.
Yes.
Carson Park. Ooh. That was the last one, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Cullen.
I did skip 2 of them. I could try to explain them.
Well, it's time now.
Okay.
Well done.
Cullen got 5. Benny had 2. That means, Cullen, you are the winner of our gauntlet of games.
I have never won anything.
Congrats to Cullen and congrats to the Family Support Center. They look at a free ad in Volume 1.
That's
Thank you
wonderful.
so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
That was fun. You all were so great. Thank you for being on the
Thank you.
podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, come back sometime. Hopefully we'll do this again.
Yeah.
All right, love you guys. Stick around. We'll be back with more Volume 1 podcast. Nick, we got to talk about one of our amazing sponsors, Royal Credit Union.
Oh, heck yeah. I love talking about them. They've been with us since the beginning of the podcast. They've been involved with a ton of cool stuff that we do at Volume 1, and they always have cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and we've talked about their financial tips or their Money Donuts podcast.
Tasty.
But today I want to talk about their nonprofit, the RCU Foundation.
Yes, yeah, the foundation. That's where all the money they raise through that group goes directly back into the community by supporting projects and nonprofits in town that really are doing good for everybody around here.
Definitely. And here's a cool thing. With every purchase you make with a Royal Credit Union debit card, they put up to 5 cents directly into the foundation. So you buy a beer, boom, that's a new exhibit at the Chippewa Valley Museum.
Yeah.
You buy some groceries, bam.
Bam.
That helps countless people at the Family Support Center. Have an egg roll, and boom.
Boom.
You're helping support the Eau Claire Library.
Bam.
Boom.
Man, you got the better lines on this. Essentially, it is that simple with the foundation. Last year, the RCU Foundation gave more than $500,000 back to the Chippewa Valley, which is just so cool to be able to do that.
Very cool.
But that's really Royal Credit Union for you. That's what they do. They're turning small change into some big things around here.
Welcome back to the Volume 1 podcast, everybody. Wow, what a great show. Just such a fun one. Becca, you had a good time?
Oh yeah, always.
Full-time podcast coming up with different slogans for local businesses. I think just get comedians in, give them
it's
slogan
just fun.
shots.
It's a good game. We should do a version of Shark Tank or something on the show.
Absolutely, yeah. Judging people for their ideas and making them feel as small as possible is a specialty of mine.
I think it'd be fun.
Oh god.
There's got to be something fun there. But yeah, super cool. I mean, Colin is great. Hannah's great. Benny's such a good talk. Like, what a fun show. Good energy in
The
this one.
most wholesome people on this planet.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we should strive for.
You got to meet a
hopefully,
few more
lot of-
people.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
meet a few more people.
So, hey, if you like what you saw or heard, go ahead and subscribe to the Volume 1 podcast wherever you do that kind of thing. You can check them all out on our website at volume1.org/podcasts. Google, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, we're on all that stuff too, so go check us out. Leave us a review. 5 stars would be nice. I'm not going to twist your arm either way. Be honest, though. We can take it.
You could also email them and request a 6th star.
Yeah.
You know, if you
We need
really
6
want to.
stars, 7 stars? Why, whatever. More stars, the better. There's on the website, there's clips and a bunch of previous episodes to dive into if you'd like. Lots of great stuff in there. And you can check out a new podcast that we're producing along with the Aging and Disability Resource Center of Eau Claire County called Journey Ahead. It's hosted by Lisa Wells. She does a great job with it. And the first episode is out there now, so go check that out at our website. But for real, we really appreciate you all spending some time with us. I want to thank our sponsors, once again, Royal Credit Union, DeborahBecker.com, and the Chippewa Valley Eye Clinic. Thanks for your support, always. Thanks to Becca again for co-hosting the panel with me. That was fun.
Rock on.
And Nick for the interview segment, getting the whole taste of the whole staff. So fun. Thanks to Taylor on design, Joel and Alex on production and tech, and you all. Thank you for listening. So we'll see you next month. Hey folks, thanks for watching the Volume 1 podcast. Hey, while you're here, if you like what you see, click subscribe. Maybe like the video, share the video with your friends. Check out other episodes of the podcast. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for watching.